Welcome to another segment of Gardening with David Grau. Today we're going to talk about wheel hoeing with the tall 8-inch blade assembly. And this 8-inch blade assembly is a fair bit taller. We just pull off the pin here, take it out, and I wanted to show you the difference in height. This is about 2 inches taller, and this is our standard. All of our wheel hoes have this size of a throat, which is taller than most other wheel hoe throats, by the way. This one is ultra tall, and it was designed for a farmer in West Marin who wanted to get right next to his carrot plants and not even have this shank disturb the soil, just this thin blade next to the plant so it didn't push as much dirt over. Now, I've ended up adopting this as my favorite new blade assembly to use. It needs to be sharpened for larger weeds. I'm going to put it in my woodworking vise and crank it down. And then the blade, when you buy a wheel hoe, the blade is beveled to a dull point. It's not super sharp because I don't want you to grab it and cut your hands when you take it out of the box. But if you're going to be doing a lot of weeding, particularly with difficult conditions, large weeds, roots to slice through, you sharpen it. I recommend a 12-inch mill bastard file. And just give it a few strokes. Feel that? It's just like a knife on both sides, because when you're using the tool, you can turn it around on the blade, on the wheel hoe, and use the other edge. So you have to sharpen only half as often as you might otherwise have to. Sharpen this side. Notice I'm only going halfway. If you go all the way across, it vibrates a lot over there on that side. So I'm just choosing to file about halfway there and about halfway here. It'll take you longer than that to sharpen a dull blade, but this one was already pretty sharp. So let's go out and do some weeding and put this tool to the test. Okay, the wheel hoe is good not only for gardening in rows, like out in your main vegetable garden, but gardening around, weeding around shrubs. This is an orange tree, a lemon tree, gardenia, and not only for getting small weeds, but especially with the tall throat, getting larger weeds as well. For instance, I'm going to wheel hoe these ornamentals that I don't really want here around my citrus. And also there's some spurge and a little bit of this and that, and I'm just going to clean this up. You notice how you can get right up next to a fence. You could never do that with the rototiller. And sometimes you have to grab the weeds and throw them to the side, but you can get quite a bit through that large throat. And if your soil moisture is just right, like it is here, that helps. Right after a rainstorm a couple days later. But you can do it in dry soil too. So here we are. We just wiped out those weeds. Took maybe a minute and a half. And this tall throat can take larger weeds. It doesn't clog as rapidly, and also unclogs a little easier. So you might want to check that out. You can just buy the blade. If you already have a wheel hoe with an 8-inch blade assembly, you can just buy the blade and add that. So in a couple minutes I'll have this all weeded, be on to doing something else. One of the ways you can use the wheel hoe is right along an edge, like this concrete edge. You can just get all the weeds like that. Bingo, done. And just got to make a pile for your compost bin, pick up later. Doesn't hurt the blade at all to scrape right along that edge and get those weeds that are such a pain. You can see that's completely edged. You could use that on the edge of any kind of border. There's a worm. There we go. Edged, and I could edge this other edge just as easily. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching Gardening with David Grau. See you next time.